Thank
Sto
you very
sharing.
much
Yeah.
to Davide. Okay, we can start off some information on the session. You have all of you have 50 minutes for the presentation. I think 12 minutes, and then we have 3 or 4 or 5 minutes to discuss your presentation. Yes, I don't know if we can use the list of the presentation that I received. So first of you can be Giuliano Lancioni with the presentation of your paper, your work, and then his work, sorry, and then the other participant. My role as a chair in particular is to control the presentation time, and I would therefore, in this case, if for you it's okay to start with the presentation of Giuliano and then the other two presentations, we can start with the first of you. So the first presentation, the first analysis regard for an Islamic finance compliant rule system built from spontaneous Arabic text is the presentation of our PRIN. As you can see, I am part of the co-author of this work, and the presenter is Giuliano Lancioni, and I can give the floor to Giuliano, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Francesca. And as Francesca just said, this presentation is about a research project shared with herself, Manuela, Giolfo, and Luca, Federico, Battanta, who are here, by the way. It's a project that has obtained a grant from the Italian Ministry of Scientific University and Scientific Research. And it's about an Islamic finance compliant rule system built from spontaneous Arabic texts. We are used for shortness and just can you see the presentation or
no?
Just a second. When I try to go on, the presentation stopped, but now okay. Hopefully it will start again. Okay. We use the acronym ISFINTECH, which is shorter and easier to use to refer to our project. This project is based on the one hand on a semantic structure based on a set of ontologies that represent entities in the financial system, their attributes and their relations. We use the FIBO industrial standard as a general reference framework from this point of view, and a set of rules set by laws and other rulings that are enforced at several levels, as we'll see. Rules of Islamic finance, which is something a bit more complex because, of course, there is no standard and a totally agreed upon set of these rules, but there is a general agreement about some of the most important institutions and transactions type. And then policies implemented by an individual, a specific institution like a bank, a financial institute, an insurance institution, and so on. We use as a reference FIBO, which is probably already known to you as an ontology, so a formal definition of semantic entities and their relations. The FIBO is an acronym for Financial Industry Business Ontology, and this ontology defines everything that is of interest in financial business applications. Of course, while in a way FIBO includes a way to assign meaning to any data that describe the business of finance, of course, no ontology is by definition complete, and in this specific case, FIBO does not include at all, except for some very marginal elements, the key concepts and semantic entities of Islamic finance. This is an example of how FIBO works. This is a general portion of the ontology about the ontology of loans. So these are all the parts involved, the entities involved in a loan, like a guarantor, a third party, an explicit date for the start of the loan, etc. So it's a formal representation of the semantics of loan in this case. fintech is based, on the other hand, on a linguistic structure. So the ontology is the semantic structure. The linguistic structure is realized through grammatical framework. That is a framework implemented originally in several the programming language, but that has a convenient Python interface that we are using, and it allows to create a set of parallel grammars that realize transductors from two universal semantic structures and specific linguistic structure. This way we have a single abstract grammar that codifies all semantic entities and their types. In this case, the single abstract grammar is supposed to codify the financial ontology, whereas there are a set of concrete grammars that allow to pass natural language texts and to yield semantic representation, or the reverse, so to generate natural language text in several languages from a given semantic representations. This way, translations in this system are epiphenomena, are not direct phenomena of the system, because what the system does is translating from a form, a linguistic form in a language, to an abstract semantic representation, which is supposed to be universal, and this representation is can be generated can generate natural language texts in all the languages that are included in the grammar. So there is no direct translation. A benefit of this is that you just need n grammars for n languages, whereas in typical translation grammars frameworks, you have n per n for n translation grammars. There is a regtech component where relations among ontologies are related at different levels, as we said, that can go from global rules, international rules, national rules, enterprise rules, guidelines, every kinds of rulings. Ontologies and rules can be implemented through a theorem prover. This is a big advantage of using formal ontologies, namely that given a set of axioms and complex relations, you can verify in a totally automatic fashion whether a given assertion, in this case a transaction, for instance, can be accepted or rejected by the system. So you have a totally automatic and non-arbitrary way to test if something is accepted or not by the system. This is one of the advantages of using regtech. fintech aims to realize an Islamic finance ontology, which is, of course, still to be done. I forgot to state that the project has just started. We are in the second month, I think, of the 2-year project. So we are mostly starting to organize material and to create structures. So we have just some sketches about the Islamic finance ontology, and we aim to implement it in a semi-automatic way by these steps. First, the base ontology is prepared through input from Islamic finance manuals and is linked to the general financial ontologies represented in FIBO. I use the plural here because FIBO is a set of ontologies linked with one another. The base ontology is then incrementally extended through an automatic analysis of legal financial reference texts. This allows to detect concepts and technical terms that are not yet included in the ontology or in the grammars. The completeness of the ontology is verified on texts yet to be analyzed. So by analyzing new texts, we can try to determine if there is any new technical terms that is still missing. So the logic is always an incremental one. We start smaller with the concepts we already have defined in standard manuals. We increment them gradually. And a set of rules is implemented in the same format of standard regtech rules that are able to insert supplementary or complementary constraints that are able to say this operation is legal, it is not, it's partially legal. We have a shade of legality, especially in as far as Islamic finance, as Islamic law in general is concerned. There is not always a black and white matter, as you know very well, but it's something that allows for some degrees of admissibility. And in order to transform standard, so let's call them Western financial rules into Islamically correct rules, we follow the standard classical practice of HIAL, so-called expedients, namely ways that allow to translate financial transactions that are not legal from Islamic point of view in a set of legal operations. This is the synopsis of the system that illustrate the relations between the elements that we refer to. Probably it's better to go back to this schema at the end of the presentation to leave it on screen if some question is in order. The final goal of this 2-year project is to produce a proof of concept that tries to reach these goals that are in our view reasonable, namely building a simplified model that manages coherently a set of typical scenarios, because the model, if we go back to the previous slide, starts with a set of customers' queries that are expressed in natural language, in Arabic and English and Italian, since we are producing a model that is meant to work in the Italian market. So we chose Arabic as the main foreign language, Italian as the current operational language of the country, English as another interface language that can be able to allow customers that don't manage both Arabic and or Italian to place queries, and also to be closer to the ontologies that are typically expressed in English. So this is one point to building this simplified model that just addresses a number of typical use seen to show the scalability of the system. Individuate an external partner interested into developing a prototype, so to go beyond the simple proof of concept, to submit to a specific target and customers, and possibly as a spin-off of the project to build an academic startup company that, of course, with some of these partners that have to be determined to implement a possible commercial version of the project. So thank you for your attention, and I go back to the schema that can help you to think of questions or remarks, if any. I think I stick to the allowed time, right?
No, thank you very much. We need now to move a question from the audience, if any.
We have a question, if possible.
Yeah.
The project is very interesting. I ask you if you can have the idea of the ideal customer of this interesting project. Thank you.
Yes, we, of course, in any project, we must imagine some kind of, let's say, ideal customer or ideal public that can be interested. In the specific case of the Italian banking and financial markets, we are mainly thinking of customers that are mainly recent or less recent immigrants to Italy, especially from, of course, Arabic or Muslim countries that have at the moment virtually no offer at all in the field of Islamic finance and banking. And that could be, so in some cases they are either compelled to accept financial products that are not ethically acceptable to them, or to be unbanked or to be at the margin of the financial system. So this is the main target.
Thank you. Other question? Yeah.
Hi, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Rahmani, okay.
Yes, thank you very much. And thank you, Professor, for your presentation. It was very interesting. One question that interests me is in this diagram is about Islamic RegTech. And I am really interested in knowing how you are going to promote the idea of Islamic RegTech by using fintech, considering that there are differences of opinions and schools of thought within the Islamic law. And by RegTech, we're normally trying to have some kind of uniform, standardized Islamic law. Then we can simply put everything in the AI or fintech, and then we simply trigger the automated system. But when there are differences, controversy, then how we can implement this?
Yes, this is a very good question. Thank you. And actually, as I told before, this is an issue not only in Islamic finance, but in Islamic law in general, because Islamic law is open to different opinions according to school, but also according to individual experts who evaluate a specific question. So our idea is to implement a core set of institutions and rules that are more or less ijma, let's say, that accepted by most of Islamic communities in the world. But the true, I think that the key in this respect is to allow the system to give shaded answers. So differently from standard RegTech implementations, we thought about some traffic light way of signaling how an operation is acceptable or not. So except for operations that are clearly unacceptable or totally acceptable, there will always be some shade that gives a ranking, let's say, an evaluation that of course can change according to specific to the specific version of Islamic law that somebody adheres to. Our idea, I think, that at the end, especially in this proof of concept and possibly in the prototype, we'll have to accept some point of view as a reference point, but I think that it will be very important to allow the system to be flexible enough to accept also the possibility that ranking can change a little bit between different viewpoints. So it's a very good point that we are aware of and that we are trying to understand how to cope with. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I don't see other question. Okay, we can move to the next. So we can start with the analysis of the second paper. So analyzing the relationship between banking performance and CSR in the Tunisian context, a comparative study of conventional and Islamic banks. Please, the presenter is Rania. Yes? Okay. Okay. Okay, I give the floor to Rania. We don't hear you.
Thank you.
Okay, now yeah.
You see the presentation?
Yeah, yeah. The last slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No problem.
So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rania Ben Belgacem. I am a PhD.
If you want, sorry, Rania, if you want, you can put this in presentation, so you can click.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. My name is Rania Ben Belgacem. I am a PhD student in accounting at the University of Sfax. I am pleased to be with you here. I want to extend my gratitude to Professor David Calandra for the invitation. I am honored to present my research titled and analyzing the relationship between banking performance and CSR in the Tunisian context, a comparative study of conventional and Islamic banks. Under the guidance of Mr. Valerio Brescia, my work explores the unique dynamics of CSR in Tunisian banks and the distinctive feature between conventional and Islamic. By the introduction, CSR can have a positive impact on the financial performance of banks. Studies have shown that companies that adopt responsible practices are generally more successful than those that don't. CSR contributes to sustainable development. The banking sector has a significant impact on the environment and society.
Sorry, Rania. I don't know if you know this, but you are not moving forward with the slides. We see your first slide only.
Oh, sorry. I will. I think that
on the top you can see share, and then we can.
It works like that, not in diaporama. I think.
Okay. Now, I think
it is good.
We are seeing, yes, your introduction. Yeah.
Okay. So CSR contributes to sustainable development. The banking sector has a significant impact on the environment and society. CSR helps to regain stakeholder trust. The 2008 financial crisis showed that banks have a significant impact on society. CSR is a field that is still underexplored. This study aims to fill this gap by analyzing the relationship between CSR and the financial performance of Tunisian banks. So moving to the theoretical background, and we start by the stakeholder theory. Organizations should prioritize relationship with stakeholders who can influence or be influenced by their objectives to achieve effectiveness, as shown at the work of Freeman, 1984. Stakeholder management is inherently pragmatic and aims to achieve anticipated outcomes and particularly profitability. Effective stakeholder management can positively impact financial and social performance. Stronger stakeholder relationships enhance efficiency, reputation, and competitive advantage. So socially responsible firms can channel surplus resources into CSR initiatives for social impact. Moving to legitimacy theory, so let's imagine firm-society relationship as an implicit social contract. This contract shaped by collective expectations, considering societal and economic factors, as shown by the work of Meisberg and Ehrman, 2012. So legitimacy determined by showcasing alignment with societal values. Thus, firm expected to address community concerns proactively. Legitimacy seen as a valuable operational resource. To ensure the continued support, company must support includes capital investments and customer appreciation and government approval. Preserving legitimacy becomes crucial for diverse support and positive reputation. By a folding role as a responsible corporate citizen, firm can strengthen this legitimacy.
Sorry, Rania, because we have only 2 or 3 minutes for the presentation, I think you should move on because otherwise we don't see all your work and your conclusion in particular.
I have just 3 minutes.
Yeah, because yeah, we have then to open to the discussion, to the questions.
Okay. So this third theory.
Okay.
And this the methodology.
I think that we know the theory. Okay. Yeah. The methodology, perfect.
The methodology. It is the objective, and we are see that on the introduction. So we move on the
analysis.
Regression analysis. So we have a positive and significant effect of CSR on the performance. Here we have, for Islamic Bank, we have a non-significant effect on CSR. And for conventional banks, we have a negative and non-significant effect of CSR on the bank performance. And here with I have a negative and significant effect of CSR on bank performance. Here we have a comparison between conventional and Islamic banks. We have a positive relationship for Islamic banks and a negative for conventional banks. So in conclusion, we have CSR has a positive impact on the financial performance of Islamic banks measured by return on asset, and has no significant impact on the financial performance of conventional banks measured by return on equity, and has a negative impact on the financial performance of conventional banks measured by return on assets. So Islamic banks should continue their CSR efforts, and conventional banks should carefully evaluate the costs and potential benefits of CSR before engaging in CSR initiatives.
Okay, thank you, Rania. Any question on the audience? No. I have a question, Rania. Do you think you have used the best performance indicator in your analysis? So there are ROA and ROE.
I have measured the performance by two measures, such as return on equity and return on asset. But
yeah, I know.
But I don't understand.
Do you think that are the best indicators that you use in the analysis? because there are other performance indicators in the analysis of the financial statement, no?
I think that they are the best.
Okay, and then I have another curiosity. How do you evaluate the value of the parameter when you said, for example, that for the CSR practice, you assign a value of 1 or 0 if have so this practice in the CSR, but what do you mean with this? So how did you evaluate the value of this parameter? What documents, information you use to represent more zeros or 1?
Yeah, because the lack of information on Tunisian banks, so I choose to see in the annual reports if such bank use or no the CSR.
Okay, so what is the information that you obtain into the website? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Thank you very much.
Thank you for you.
Other question? I think no. Okay. So we can move the third analysis, the third paper, with the title Sustainable Practice of Sukuk. I don't know the presenter. I imagine Rahmani. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Professor Rahmani.
All right.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm gonna share my slides first, so bear with me so I can share these slides. All right. So that's the one. Now, can you see the slides?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. All right. Great. Great.
If you can
Yeah. What?
Yes, we will see. I don't know in the presentation form. That,
oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got
perhaps.
you. I got you.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So yeah, this presentation concerns sustainable practice of Sukuk, and myself and my colleague, who's in fact one of my students, we have committed to this research in fact last year, and the results of the research have been turned into a paper that we are going to inshallah hopefully publish it in respectable journal. So here is my plan of our research. So I'll give you a introduction, and then I explain the methodology. Then I have a very quick review of the literature available, and then I speak about some challenges and prerequisites of sustainable practice of Sukuk, and eventually I provide some conclusions. So I am going to first very quickly define sustainability. As we all know, any current developmental activity or process that meets needs of person without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. So it's a standard definition of sustainability, which includes 3 bottom line concepts: people, planet, and profits. So every developmental activities should be mindful of not only economic profits, but also people surrounding the project, and also environmental concern and the planet as well. So sustainability is a hot topic today, and it's mainly because it's a global agenda for sustainability and sustainable development. The United Nations via Paris Agreement made commitments towards sustainable development goals in 2015. Member states of the United Nations made promises to try to achieve the goals of sustainability by 2030, and in these engagements and commitments, Islamic countries were also involved as well. Now, Islamic finance has also great link to sustainable development goals, and our investigation shows that Islamic finance could be a natural fit for achieving sustainability, because it mainly focuses on elimination of interest and promotion of profit loss sharing type of investment and equity financing. And it's type of value-based finance that will replace mere profit-seeking approach to finance, and wants to transform the financial markets and financial industry into becoming ethical, socially alert, and environmentally conscious financing. And it's also guided by al-Maqasid al-Sharia and Islamic ethics, particularly in terms of harm and haram avoidance while engaged in profit-seeking or economic activities as well. So Islamic finance is very relevant. And among Islamic finance products, Sukuk has got a unique place. So Sukuk could aid in filling the finance deficit for infrastructure developmental projects. So Sukuk is the most prominent and commonly used Islamic finance product, especially in terms of issuance volume and geographic diversification. So Sukuk can provide a platform for socially conscious investment, promote initiatives that benefit society and the environment. For example, we can have Sukuk, a structure to fund for a renewable energy sector. So Sukuk has got a very major capacity to implement sustainable development goals. However, as the Sukuk report 2022 indicates, over 188 billion worth of Sukuk that has been issued in 2022, only 20 billion was linked to sustainable objectives. So as you can see, there is a very great untapped opportunities in Sukuk in relation to sustainable developments, which needs to be unleashed. So our methodology, if I explain it, is that so we had our question that, okay, we have the sustainable development goals. Now, how can Islamic finance contribute towards achieving sustainable development goals in Islamic countries? And to be more precise, how Sukuk practice can incorporate sustainable development goals. So we run a qualitative research methodology with exploratory approach to reconsider the current Sukuk practices and to recommend reform plans of Sukuk practice to improve sustainability as defined by the Paris Agreement. So we run a comprehensive literature review. And I have to mention here that our research, qualitative research, were limited to literature review analysis. So we didn't run empirical research, but we see it as necessary for a future project to involve in empirical research in this area as well. Now, as we examine the existing literature, we found that there are several threads of literature in relation to the Sukuk. The great thread of literature focuses on general definition of Sukuk as distinguished from conventional bonds. There is also some literature speaking about Sukuk as a component of corporate capital structure. There is literature that emphasizes on the potential role of Sukuk in stimulating sustainable economic growth, and also some literature focus on Sukuk as an element of ethical investment that is linked with sustainability goals as well, and some other literature views Sukuk as a component of corporate social responsibility, stakeholder discourse, socially responsible investment, and social and environmental and social and governance or ESG financing as well. And there are also some literature taking some criticism in relation to the size of participation of Sukuk in promoting financial inclusion. And according to this thread of research, they found it very low participation and a point for criticism. And finally, there is also some literature emphasizing on Sharia regulatory bodies to be an element or a push factor that can encourage and that can push the Sukuk market and Sukuk transactions towards sustainability and sustainable development goals. Now, from the review of literature, we have come up with some challenges, and these challenges on the path of Sukuk to transform towards sustainable development goals are first, Sharia governance and regulatory frameworks that focus only on Sharia compliancy rather than contribution to SDGs. Also, the absence of standardized sustainable frameworks and procedures for sustainable Sukuk, and also apathetic stakeholders who are not conscious of SDGs. So, for example, issuers have no rigorous obligation to disclose and report to potential impacts of their Sukuk projects on environment, society, and wider community. Investors are unwilling or unable to evaluate the sustainability performance of Sukuk issuances, and regulatory arbitrage also encourages issuers to choose to issue Sukuk in countries with softer sustainability regulations. As well as the challenges, we came up with certain prerequisites for development of Sukuk market towards sustainability performance. So in that respect, we believe that all the stakeholders of the Islamic finance sector, such as financial institutions, authorities, market players, collaborators in the market, all should collaborate actively to take sustainability concerns in line with Sharia governance into account when making decisions. And that includes establishment of sustainability responsive, standardized Sukuk market, greater SDG and ESG disclosure and reporting standards by Sukuk markets, incorporation of ESG factors into Sukuk frameworks while ensuring adherence to Islamic law, and sustainability conscious investors should also be there as well. And the second prerequisite would be Sukuk market dynamics should also be reconsidered and reconciled with the SDG objectives. Unfriendly Sukuk ratings and risk management guidelines and practices to be reconsidered as well. SDGs inconsistent default contractual arrangements such as Ijara, Mudaraba, Musharaka, Wekala that currently underlie Sukuk structures should be revised through engineering, and eventually innovative Sukuk structures should be created and put to practice. So for example, green Sukuk should be innovated, social impact Sukuk that allocates funds to initiatives that benefit society, such as subsidized housing, healthcare, education, and poverty reduction should develop. Sustainability linked Sukuk. Financial returns of Sukuk will be linked to sustainability performance of the issuers based on certain key performance indicators that are connected and linked with environment, society, and governments should be in place. And also technology-driven Sukuk solutions can also help. For example, blockchain technology used to create digital Sukuk to enhance the effectiveness and efficiency and transparency and accessibility of Sukuk transactions.
Okay,
so
sorry.
As a conclusion,
1 minute for the conclusion.
Thank you. So as a conclusion, I'm not gonna talk too much here. So it's basically Sukuk is a very beneficial Islamic financial product, which benefits the issuers, investors, the wider economy, and it's got definitely high capacity for the implementation of SDGs. However, development of sustainable practice of Sukuk depends on establishment of sustainability responsive standards Sukuk market, greater reporting frameworks and guidelines, fostering understanding of SDGs and ESG considerations among stakeholders, introducing pertinent adjustments to Sukuk structures like model agreements to be revised, market dynamics to be reconsidered, credit rating and risk management to be innovated, and also innovative Sukuk structures such as green Sukuk, social impact Sukuk, sustainability linked Sukuk, and digital Sukuk, and so on to be innovated. And eventually we acknowledge that future empirical research should be undertaken, and it is our second project that we are going to test our results and findings for this research here. So that's all I had to say for my research. We'll be happy to take questions, if any. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any question? No? We have finished our time, I think, our section. So thank you very much for your interesting presentation. Thank you for all the presentation, and thank you for the discussion. And I'll see you in the next section, if you can, of this forum. Thank you very much. Hi.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Hi, Davide. Hi. Hi.
Thank you so much, Francesca. Bye-bye.
Bye.